It's the grandson of Right Thought. In these last days, it's about who's thinking right. It's not about who has the most money, who has the most guns, who has the most connections, who has the most friends, who has the most protection, who has the most largest bank account. Like, none of that shit matters in the last days. The last days are peculiar days. They're strange. They're different. You're going to have to learn how to exist different in these days. And the only ones who will survive are those who are of right thinking, who have strong minds. They say only the strong survive. That's where we're at on the clock now, see? Those who are of a strong mind. And see, since Abiyah is divine thought, don't you think you need to come in alignment with that divine thought in order to be thinking right in these days? And if you don't know divine thought, then how will you be thinking right? You'll be thinking wrong, just like the rest of this world. Going along with the program, going along with whatever massa say. Just going along with whatever the program that's put up there before your face, you go along with it. You do it because you're going to be a good citizen. You're going to be a good slave. Your slave master's going to give you a good treat. Going to give you a Scooby snack. It's time y'all wake up from that. See, because we can fuss and fight and argue about what we think and what we feel about what's right, what's wrong. Or we can let the Most High speak today. And what does he say? What does his word say? That we keep his commandments that are to do what? Love the Most High and love our neighbor as ourself. Loving our neighbor as ourself. Not hating, not backbiting, because that's our enemy. If you of my tribe. I say it all the time. Cain means hater. So his children are haters. Cainites are haters. Are you a hater today? Are you spewing out hatred and venom? Backbiting, strife? Is that what's coming out of your heart today? Are you putting forth love, forgiveness, healing, reconciliation, mutual benefit of all parties involved? Because if you can't discern, then you can't discern. Then that means it ain't for you. That means you can't come into it. You can't enter into it. And it's not because you're being thrust out. It's because you willingly choose not to enter in. You remove yourself. Everybody knows that a narcissist sabotages their own plan. You don't have to destroy their plan. They will sabotage it on their own. All you have to do is remove your energy. Because that's what they're feeding off of. Your energy. But when you're right thinking, then you can block those darts that come at you, those attacks, those accusations, whatever they may be. You can block them when you have right thinking. Whatever lies that the devil throws at you to deceive you out of your blessings, to steal, kill, or destroy your blessings, you can deflect those blows. You won't even feel them. You'll dodge those bullets without having to move. And that's the reality of right thinking. Because I say in these last days, only those in right thinking will survive. Everybody else will literally lose their minds. It says in those days, men's hearts shall fail them for fear of what they shall see. Fear. You hear that? Perfect love cast out fear. So you think you're going to be one of those if you're walking in perfect love? But see, y'all are trying to figure out everything else to rise. Everything in the 3D you're trying to use to rise. When the Most High says, chase after the things of the Spirit. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and the rest shall be added. But if you don't know how to seek the kingdom of heaven, then you won't have the rest that can be added. You'll be lacking. So in the time that you had to prepare, like I said, the oil in your lamp, the time you had to prepare, Were you using it to prepare in the spirit? Or were you using it to prepare in this 3D? Trusting in the power of man? Or are you trusting in the power of Abba Yah today? Because those are the ones that are going to be separated. Those who trust in Abba Yah and those who don't. Who put their trust in man. Loading up guns, stacking up grenades, building bunkers, building outposts, and setting up radio towers, and stacking up water, and all of this. It's taking all your time to do this. You have not read the word of the Most High and been filled with it, which is the most important thing, so that you can have right thinking. Because if you are without that in these days, which is righteousness, if you are without that, then that means you are unclean. You are unrighteous. You're unclean. You can't see the kingdom where there's liberty. The law of liberty, the perfect law of liberty, where there is freedom. That's what liberty means. Freedom, guys, to be free. To be free of all chains. At last, to be free. And we're all still trying to put chains on one another. We're all still trying to put a restriction on another person's living, another person's experience, instead of letting them have their own experience without judging them. Because, see, to the righteous, you see the person who's doing you wrong when they're doing you wrong, but you don't judge them for that. You give them the opportunity to come to you and to bring it to you. And if they don't bring it to you, that's on them. You just keep moving in your right thinking without judging them, letting them be free. Because there are immutable cosmic laws that take care of things like that. Abba has already set that up. You don't have to fight it when you know that. Torah will take care of that. So you don't have to fight any of those battles. The Most High's laws do that for you. All you do is rest in his commands. To love. Giving grace, mercy. Because it's not your place to judge another. And to tell another with, this is what you should do, and this is what you should do, and this is what you should do. If it's not what the Most High say, then you shouldn't say you should do it. You shouldn't tell people they should do things that's not in alignment with the Most High's words. And if we as a people all came back to that and accepted that it was love and coming under the banner of the Most High's word as our truth, as one people, we wouldn't have disagreements. We would simply just point the finger at Abba's word on the subject and say, this is what it says. And we'd have to accept it. But we all fight against coming up with our own doctrines. Yeah, it says that, but this is what it really means when it says that. Instead of letting the words speak for themselves, precept upon precept, line here a little, there a little, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Y'all know that. Because it'll do it. It'll confirm itself. But if you don't have right thinking today, then you're lost. You won't be able to survive because you'll be too filled with fear. And see, the time that we're living in, I've said it before, but the time that we're living is for you to come clean about all of your wickedness so that you can stand proud and bold on that day without fear. Because judgment is here and everybody's feeling their judgment coming, so they're trying to put all the attention on what somebody else is doing. You did this, you did this, you did. You better focus on what you're doing because you're causing harm in people's lives by the things you're doing. Whether you know you are or not, maybe they've forgiven you without you knowing it. But you're causing harm by doing that. By lying and then accusing people of lying. By tricking and then accusing people of tricking. By accusing and then accusing people of accusing. That's not right thinking. That only brings death, not life. So we stand on Abba Yah's word. That way we can all have life. But when we stray from that, when we stray from right thinking, his word, desolation comes. And it cannot be denied. Look at the world. Look what's happening to it. As the world has strayed away from Abba Yah's word, and it cannot be denied, the world has fallen deeper and deeper into darkness. There was a time we prayed together. There was a time we read the scriptures. There was a time that it was a normal thing to see a Bible. There was a time when it was normal to say God or pray in school. To say the word God in school. That was a normal thing at one time. And as the world has strayed further and further away from that, the world has fallen deeper and deeper and deeper into distress. No one can deny that. But us who have clave unto the word, been filled with it, become one with it, living sacrifice, gave up our lives to be filled with the Ruach HaKodesh. We've partaken of the Spirit according to what we've given up, our sacrifice. That's why he said, take up your cross and follow after me. What is your sacrifice today? What did you give up? Because whatever you gave up, you'll receive 100-fold if you gave it up for Yahushua's sake. So we rejoice because we know we are rich. We know I am wealthy. I am beyond your imagination. I am magnificent. I am all that I ever needed to be. And when you know that, you have right thinking. And without that, you die. Silawam Yisrael.